Hello and welcome to ARC PDX, everybody. I'm Wesley Ogle, and ARC PDX is on the road this morning. We are here in downtown Vancouver. ARC stands for Authentic, Relevant Community. So we've been going on the road to your communities to dig into the stories that are authentic and relevant to all of you. So today we're at Dandelion Tea House and Apothecary this morning to highlight some key issues that will impact downtown Vancouver. We're going to be diving into concerns over a major development project downtown called Main Street Promise. We're also diving into Vancouver's police services levy called Prop 5, which will be on your ballots on Tuesday. We have a great list of guests to talk about these key issues, including one of the businesses feeling the pinch from this project, the city officials who are running this project, Vancouver's Downtown Association, as well as Vancouver's police chief. So let's start with the Main Street Promise. This construction project is redesigning Main Street between 5th and 15th Street. They're replacing sewer and water lines and improving the traffic signals, the streetlights, and the sidewalks. The city says this will improve safety, create community, and drive economic prosperity. This plan has been in the works for more than 3 decades now, and the work began this January. The city says that it is doing phased construction and that it's working closely with business owners to make sure that access is maintained while crews are working. But some of these business owners we talked with don't agree. They say it is impacting access and it is hurting their bottom line. So this morning, I have Michael PEROZZO joining me live here. Michael, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me out.
Of course. So he is just really across the street from us here. You own Vice Beer and A Little Vice, and A Little Vice is what's on Main Street. And you've been really vocal online about the access issues you're seeing from this construction project. Tell us exactly what impact this is having on your business.
The impact is huge. I mean, it's absolutely blocking people from coming into our business. Yeah, the video that I posted online that initially kind of sparked at least some positive feedback from the community. I didn't get positive feedback from the Downtown Association or the city, but customers responded to it as like, hey, now we're seeing what the real pain is downtown. And that video was a result of just me coming to do a delivery to my business on a day we were closed and finding it literally barricaded. All of our patio furniture had been moved up the block. No one told us this was happening. No one gave us a heads up that, you know, this was going to be the day that there was going to be this major disruption, or just worked with us to make the disruption a little less, you know, give us some time to, you know, at least go to social media and tell our customers, hey, here's what you might expect in the coming days and weeks. It was just cut off, and here we go. And this was, you know, probably, it's, not to quote Fred Durst, but the city has moved this project in and out over and over again. They move in, they change the block, there's a disruption for a weekend, and then they move out and it's like, oh, okay, it feels normal again. We could deal with that couple days. And then now finally we're in this phase of total disruption, total blockage. I mean, from where we sit to where our bar is right now, you should be able to walk there in 2 minutes. Right now, you would have to go around 2 entire city blocks and walk the equivalent of 5 or 6 blocks.
Have you looked at your revenue or how much maybe you think you've lost during this construction project?
There's literally been days where we've lost everything, where we've had someone behind the bar and not seen a soul darken our doorstep or even walk by. That entire day.
What would you like to see from the city? How do you think they could have done this better?
When we first had our Main Street Promise meetings, there was a lot of talk about, hey, we're gonna bring these pub crawl events to downtown. We're gonna do events downtown. We're going to be promoting the downtown businesses that are effective in a real positive way. We just really haven't seen any of that. Like, there have been some events in the downtown area, but they've been organized by people, not the city, not
Yeah, I was
Vancouver
going to
Downtown
say, I've seen online and stuff that they've been throwing parties, like you said. They've been highlighting businesses here during the construction, but you're saying that's not really helping you?
No, yeah, there's been a little bit of social media stuff. I think the VDA bounces from place to place and and get some interviews that really, I listen to the interviews and what I'm hearing is them just kind of spinning the project in a positive light. They certainly haven't interviewed any of the businesses that are in the thick of it. It's really these lower blocks of 6th and 7th Street right now that I'm sure you guys experienced it this morning. You just can't get around.
Yeah.
And that's who needs the help right now. That's where there needs to be something going on. And as a result of those posts I put on social media, there is an event coming up a week and a half from now called Beer Beyond the Barricades.
Yeah.
It's a pub crawl that a guy named Gordon Brown put together because he saw what was going on. He reached out and he said, hey, can I put together something that brings support to your couple blocks down there? Like, yeah, that's what we need.
Are you feeling hopeful about that?
That gives me hope. I feel real defeated when, now, we weren't getting communication from the city.
Because the city
VDA.
says, even on their website, they say they're going to have really rapid response to any issues. They say access will be fine.
Yeah.
You're not seeing that?
No. Our sidewalk hasn't been torn up yet, but the block below us has. And talking with Courtney from Foxhold in there and Annie at Six Shooter, there's days that they show up to their business and they can't even get inside. They're just like, so what do we do now? And I don't think the city's considering the impact this has, particularly, maybe even more so on the food and beverage industry that depends on the traffic, the foot traffic. And just thinking about like, what does that mean when that business owner's got to cut that shift? I mean, there's 3 or 4 people that aren't getting paid that day.
Are you worried that some of these businesses won't survive? I have seen people say that online.
We've already seen businesses bow out. Our neighbors next to us, someone new has come in there, but right when this construction project began, they kind of saw the writing on the wall and they were like, we're not going to make it. So they're closed. Even next door here at Husubi's, they recently said, we're going to close for the holidays. We'll see you on the other side of this.
Wow.
And that's something we've considered. We've been like, would we be losing less to just close up shop, pay the rent, and not
just
operate?
Just wait till this construction project's done. When have you been told that it should be done?
We're told that our blocks are supposed to be done by Thanksgiving, and that there's supposed to be a hiatus there, but I don't think that ends the disruption necessarily, because this goes all the way up Main Street, and Main Street's such an artery for our downtown businesses. And it's, it's a bit of a morbid analogy, but what happens when you block an artery? It's not good. And so that's what's happening to us down here.
I'm going to be talking with a couple of the people managing this project in about 30 minutes. What questions would you like me to ask them?
I'd like to ask them, where's the support? Where's the events? Where's the marketing? We've seen money and funds that they've given to the Downtown Association, significant amounts of money to the Visit Vancouver group. What are they doing to bring business to downtown and help us out? And how come a grant can't be set up or a nonprofit set up that could help funnel some support money or grants to the local businesses affected by this? Even small amounts would be like, okay, that helped me get through that day. That would help. Also, why aren't you answering our emails? Talking with several local business owners, we're all frustrated that when we come into these kind of blocked off scenarios and limited access scenarios, we're emailing and asking the Downtown Association and the city for answers, and we're not even getting emails back. We don't even get the time of day of, oh, hey, to me, if there's a downtown liaison, like that person should be on site. Person should be out here shaking my hand and saying, hey, this is the effect and we understand the gravity of it. There's no sign of them understanding the gravity of it.
Okay, and really quickly, because I need to wrap here, but do you think, from what you've seen of the plans, do you think this will be worth it when it's all done?
That, I honestly don't. You can go up to 15th Street now in front of the brick house and see a finished block. The pavement looks clean. It's not a wow design. It doesn't match up with the early drawings that we saw of this really cool looking downtown. It's just kind of like, well, the sidewalk looks cleaner. There's more bike racks.
All right. Well, I'll be talking to the project managers about this. Michael, thank you so much for joining us and being so honest about your experience. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And as we had to break, we do want to hear from all of you. So please point your phone's camera at the QR code on your screen and vote on our question. Is construction on Main Street in downtown Vancouver preventing you from visiting businesses there? Is it yes, it makes access difficult? No, I don't mind it, or I didn't know about the construction. We're gonna keep checking in on this poll as our show goes on this morning. We are highlighting some of the key issues impacting businesses here on Main Street, as well as the Vancouver Police Services levy on the ballot on Tuesday. So let's start with the Main Street Promise construction project. This is redesigning Main Street between 5th and 15th Street. They're replacing sewer and water lines and improving the traffic signals, the streetlights, and the sidewalks. The city says this will improve safety, create community, and drive economic prosperity. This plan has been in the works for more than 3 decades now, and the work began this January. The city says it's doing phased construction and that it's working closely with business owners to make sure that access is maintained while crews are working. But some of the business owners we've talked with don't agree. They say it's impacting access and it's hurting their bottom line. So we're gonna get answers for them right now. We've got 2 city officials. Come on in here, Chris and Ryan. We've got Ryan LOPOSSA, the transportation manager for the city of Vancouver. And we've also got Chris Harder. You are the deputy director of economic prosperity and housing. Thank you both so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Chris. What is the main purpose of this Main Street Promise construction project, and why is it so badly needed?
I think you did actually a great job summarizing it. It's the complete redesign and reconstruction of Main Street, something that hasn't happened in our community and on this corridor for many, many years. And I'll let Ryan get into some of the construction details. But when we think long-term, this is really setting up the corridor to be a premier commercial and retail center, not just for Vancouver, but the entire Portland metro region.
And so, Ryan, I want to ask you more specifically, what kind of construction is actually going out here on Main Street right now?
Great question. So this is a complete reconstruction of the corridor. So as you said, we're reconstructing all of the underground utilities, the water, the sewer. Those utilities are, in some cases, over 100 years old. We're reconstructing everything on the surface, the sidewalks, the streets, the street lights, the traffic signals. We're adding street furnishings. We're adding lots of different amenities. We're creating spaces where people can park their bikes. We're adding EV chargers. Basically just a complete redo of the entire street system.
Okay, it's a big, big project. And Chris, tell us about the outreach and the community engagement that you guys did even before you guys broke ground on this project.
Yeah, our pre-construction engagement was, I think, over a year long, multifaceted. So we did this through 4 or 5 open houses with the community. We did surveys and mailers trying to get input. We did presentations to various community groups, boards, and commissions. Maybe most importantly is we formed a project advisory group. So these were 15 members, residents of downtown, business owners of downtown, to help guide decision-making about what shows up on Main Street. So for us, it was really a community-led and community design process.
So I did just talk to Michael from A Little Vice, which is really the catty corner to where we are here right now. The construction's right outside his door. And he did say that he knew this was going on, but he didn't really know the full extent of how it would impact his business. And he says that communication was lacking. What response would you have for him?
You know, we'll always do a job of how we can communicate better. We have a multifaceted approach now during construction, similar to pre-construction where we had different channels of trying to engage, get input. help with decision making. So during construction, we have a similar approach. We have 2 business liaisons, one with the city, one with our construction company, Nutter Construction. We do weekly email updates to try and give stakeholders on the corridor the latest information. As you can imagine, a project like this is complex and things can change. We have what's called a block captain program. So each block has a business owner who serves as kind of the lead. We help disseminate information with them that they can share with their peer business owners. We have coffee corner chats at least once a month. Sometimes we were doing them twice a month to allow for stakeholders and residents and business owners to ask questions. We can connect them to resources. So we're doing everything we can. We believe it's an extraordinary and unprecedented investment in this corridor, not only with what Ryan has talked about of the physical change that will occur, but also the approach we're taking to try and engage businesses.
And I do just want to bring you another issue from another business owner I talked with. One business owner says that the access and the timely response that was promised by the city isn't adequate. They say they actually had to close one day last week because they felt like they would have just lost money staying open because the access wasn't adequate to their business. They say that they haven't seen anybody from the city actually on the ground here dealing with those issues in a timely manner. What's your response to that? Is there somebody here who's supposed to be walking the streets and answering those questions and those concerns?
Yeah, our business liaison is on the corridor, if not daily, 3-4 days a week. So is Nutter Construction's business liaison is probably on the corridor every day. We also have a partnership with the Vancouver Downtown Association. So our approach to this is no wrong door. So if you're a business owner, you're a stakeholder, you're a resident, and maybe you have a question about what's occurring in that day or longer term, you talk to one of those 3, and we coordinate behind the scenes to try and get the answers as quick as we can, or resolve any issues that may be out there as quick as we can.
And I do have one more question from a business owner, sorry. Earlier this morning, Michael was saying he has emailed the city multiple times with his concerns about access to his business, the water shutoffs, stuff like that. And he says he hasn't gotten responses. What's going on there?
I'm not aware of us not responding to emails or concerns. Sometimes the issues are more complex and we need to work within the city to find an answer. But I think we're responsive in terms of trying to respond to those questions that they may have, and we'll continue to find different channels and ways to communicate as well.
Okay. Is there anything that you think you guys could be doing more or better?
I think there's always opportunities to engage more, and so that's why we continue to have our coffee corners. We're in a unique position in the project. We're about a year in, and we're about to go into what's a holiday pause because we want to make sure construction is reduced during the holiday shopping season. So we're going to take this opportunity to reflect and what can we do better, what parts of our engagement can we enhance that's working really well. So of course we always take the opportunity to kind of evaluate ourselves on that.
Okay, and I do actually want to talk about this holiday pause with you, Ryan, because Michael did mention that as well, where you guys are going to pause for like the Thanksgiving holiday season. What's the timeline on that? Is that still the plan? And then when does construction pick back up again?
Yeah, so it's always been the plan that we would ask the contractor to suspend operations starting Thanksgiving and then to resume after the new year. So we will actually be meeting with the contractor in the coming weeks to look into specifics as far as that plan. But in essentially all major construction, so construction involving large equipment, will suspend. We do expect the contractor could have a small crew out installing furnishings, doing really small scale type work, which we think is very low impact type work. But essentially the idea is to reopen the corridor and give businesses a bit of a reprieve, especially during the busy holiday shopping season. And then, like Chris said, it'll give us an opportunity to reflect on some of the engagement that we've been doing and see if there's some opportunities where we can, pivot some of those plans and make some improvements, make some tweaks, and so forth.
And besides that, the pause, how is construction going? How's your progress? Are you guys on track to get everything done when you thought you would?
Progress is really going well. We are actually ahead of schedule. The contractor's original completion schedule was going to carry us into 2027. I believe we're actually going to be substantially complete with this project sometime in late 2026. As we enter the holiday pause, we could have up to 4 or 5 blocks mostly complete, which means all of the underground work is now complete. All of the surface work will be complete in those 4 or 5 blocks, which means those sidewalks will be done, all of those pavers will be done, the streets will be done, the street lights will be done. Maybe the furnishings aren't there yet, maybe the bike racks aren't there yet, but most of the work, like you see in the upper blocks around the 1400 block, will be done in those 4 or 5 blocks, which we were not expecting to happen this year. So we're really excited about that. That gives them a head start going into 2026. That particular phase, which is what we call phase 2, moves fairly quickly. So I see them moving pretty quickly through 2026 to get this project done.
Okay, all right, great. And Chris, I have another question for you. I know you guys are putting on events and you're trying to do, block parties and things like that to bring business to these businesses. But, we're hearing some of them are maybe worried they won't survive this construction, could possibly close down permanently because of this. Are you able to financially help these businesses out, maybe a grant or something like that to keep them going through this, in addition to, trying to do outreach online and host events?
Sure. We do have programs to help businesses along this journey. A lot of that is done in partnership with the Vancouver's Downtown Association. They have a Clicks and Bricks program that will help businesses. They have a small business mentoring program that can help business owners kind of get advice on navigating this change and positioning themselves during a construction project. We through that partnership with the VDA, have been doing business-specific promotional marketing, trying to highlight the business, but also attract customers. So we do have programs that we're using to assist in that way. We'll continue to look at different opportunities for how we can support businesses. We are in a limited resource environment here at the city, so we're working and we're trying to leverage as much as we can. But I will say, I do believe the investments we're making that Ryan has talked about, the investments we're making to engage the business owners, to provide support where we can, is unprecedented in our city. We believe those benefits, whether it's the property owners and the businesses, are going to be real in the near term, in the next couple of years as this project comes to a close, but also 2-3 decades out as well. So we're excited about what we're doing, and we're going to continue to find ways to support businesses through, no doubt, is what is a challenging project.
Chris Harder and Ryan LOPOSSA, both from the City of Vancouver. Thank you both for being on here and answering those questions. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
And as we head to break, we want to hear from all of you. Point your phone's camera at the QR code on your screen and vote on this question. Is construction on Main Street in downtown Vancouver preventing you from visiting businesses there? All right, we got some results now. 36% of you say yes, it makes access difficult. 23% of you say no, I don't mind it. And the majority of you, 41%, say, I didn't even know about the construction. Well, you're watching the show now, so now you know. So we were on the road here at Dandelion, TEAHOUSE, and Apothecary. They're right off Main Street, where there is a big construction project going on right now called Main Street Promise. We got Marianne Wilson-Stein here. She's the owner of Dandelion. Thank you so much for hosting us in your space.
Absolutely, happy to do it.
And you're also the president of the Vancouver's Downtown Association.
Correct.
So you're an important person to talk with about this. So tell me how Vancouver's Downtown Association is involved or has been involved in this Main Street Promise project.
So we've been a partner with the city from the very beginning and felt like it was really important to be able to represent the businesses, all the stakeholders downtown, the people who live here, the building owners. So we have partnered with the city to make sure that those stakeholders are taken care of as best as we can. I know that Michael from A Little Vice and some of the other business owners on 6th Street have had some issues of being able to access their space. I know it's an unfortunate thing that's happened, and it's not what has been normal throughout this process. So, you know, I think the city is trying to address it as best as we can. But the VDA, Vancouver Downtown Association, has been really trying to support those businesses. I know we just had the VDA come in and do a reel for us, and all the 39 businesses that they have done reels for, we have over 2 million views.
Wow.
760,000 engagements, and it's been.
Do you think that's translating though to dollars and to
Oh,
business?
I will tell you it is, because oh my gosh, I can never remember their name on the corner.
Husubi's.
Yes, thank you, thank you. They were the first one that we did this for, and it was absolutely amazing. We had lines all the way down the block.
Great.
For their business. People were really excited about that.
So how do you think, I mean, you're also a business owner here,
Yes.
and granted, you're not right on Main Street, you're right off it, but you can see the construction from your
Yes.
window. Have you had any negative impact from the construction to your bottom line?
I would say we have. I knew that there would be some impact. You know, we have road closed signs right on Washington, so
Yeah.
people don't even want to come down
We didn't
here.
know we could
Right.
come and park in front of your business.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I also think, you know, we've had a little bit of an economic downturn. You know, prices have gone way up. So we're really trying to work with that and understand that once this gets done, it's going to be fantastic. You know, we have hosted, and in conjunction with the VDA sponsoring, we had our Pride Block Party this summer. We brought in, between that event and all the other events that the VDA and the things that we have done here on 7th Street, we brought in over 8,000 people into the downtown corridor while construction has been happening. We just had our dog fashion show last weekend.
I saw the flyer in the
Yes.
bathroom.
Yep.
And that went well?
It went great. It went great. And it didn't rain during the fashion show.
So, I mean, you heard when I was talking to Michael earlier,
Yes.
you know, he's saying he understands, he sees these events are happening, he appreciates that work, but he's asking, like, is there any financial help or grants or anything to help these businesses in that way?
I wish there was. I wish the VDA had a lot of money in order to be able to do this, but we work on a very limited budget, and we have done things like Chris had said, the bricks and clicks, helping people with their facade, and also helping online, you know, with their marketing. We also have the mentorship program, which we have been a partner with, and we have joined that program as well, and it's been really helpful. There are some things that we don't necessarily see as a business owner that somebody from the outside does. There is no specific financial. We can't, you know, give money out, unfortunately.
Is there anything more that you're thinking that maybe you guys could do now that you've heard maybe more of these concerns?
I think one of the things that we talked about doing is which we try to do every year, and this year in particular is we're doing a holiday shopping guide, which if we have a holiday shopping guide, that brings people into the restaurants and into the bars. So, I mean, that is one thing we're doing. We also, next year, I think we're offering offering grants for outdoor seating.
Okay.
And nothing that we can do in the interim, in the short term.
Really quickly, we have like 10 seconds
Okay.
left. What are you most excited about when this project is done?
We're most excited about being able to have festival events and bringing a lot of people in downtown.
Awesome. Marianne Wilson-Stein, thank you so much for having us here at Dandelion, and we appreciate it.
You are welcome.
We're also diving into Vancouver's police services levy called Prop 5, which will be on your ballots on Tuesday. We have a great list of guests talking about these issues, including one of the businesses feeling the pinch from this project, the city officials who are running the project, Vancouver's Downtown Association, as well as Vancouver's police chief. So one of the big issues that we're focusing on this morning is Proposition 5. This is Vancouver's police services levy. This is a 15-cent increase per $1,000 of property value. The city says under this proposed increase, owners of a $500,000 home would pay about $75 a year. This is a scaled back version of Proposition 4, which was on the last year's ballot, and it failed. It focuses specifically on sworn police officers. So this one asks for 13 officers compared to the 80 officers and 36 non-sworn police positions on Prop 4. Prop 5 is also a single-year levy lid lift, and that means the amount approved will become the basis for calculating future levies until the measure expires. Prop 4 was a multi-year levy lid lift that requested a higher amount each year. So joining us this morning is Troy Pierce. He is Vancouver's police chief, excuse me. Troy, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. It's Troy Price, and happy to be with you this morning.
Thank you so much. Yes, great to join you this morning. Thank you for correcting me. I'm so sorry about that. Start with what sticks out to you the most about Prop 5.
Well, Prop 5 is just a opportunity for the citizens to upgrade some of the police services that they're receiving. Right now, we are using a lot of overtime to take care of our basic patrol functions. It's just that we simply don't have that many officers. We're number 2 in terms of lowest staffed agencies for our size in the state. And so Prop 5, if passed, would seek to get us about 13 more officers for our agency.
And tell me how the current state of Vancouver's police department affects the work that your department is able to do.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. Right now, we are very call responsive. That is going from call to call to call, and not a lot of time for proactive policing. That is going out and making those non-enforcement contacts. We are doing a lot of work on overtime, and we are wearing our people out, as some would say. Our focus has been on wellness, and this kind of runs counter to that. We'd like to be able to get our folks in, do their 10.5-hour shift, and get them out the door at the end of the day. And that typically is not happening. They're often staying over just because of the amount of work there is to do. We're experiencing higher call volume, and that has primarily to do with the fact that a lot of people are finding Vancouver a great place to live, to work, to play. And so we're seeing our population increase approximately 3,000 folks a year. And we simply just haven't kept pace with our staffing to meet the needs of our community.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about overtime and tired officers, working more than they should in a day. How is that then translating to any issues or impact you're seeing maybe on your residents? How does that affect your community?
We love having a great relationship with our community. We receive a lot of community support. Most of the reason that our community it really supports us is because we provide a great service to them. And that great service is really realized in what I call the non-enforcement contacts we have, where we are actually just getting out to know the community, speaking with businesses, speaking with our community members, finding out what their concerns are, and not in the middle of a crisis, because we're there to do a different kind of job at that time. So we'd like to be able to continue to foster those really great relationships, and that happens when our officers actually have the time to do that.
So the similar levy, Prop 4, as you know, failed last year. So with the changes made to Prop 5, are you more confident that this one will pass?
Yes, I believe so. This is a smaller ask, of course, and it's part of a structured plan to acquire more resources to serve our community. And I would ask people to just take a look at this one and see what it is actually going to do for the community, and then make an informed choice when they go to the polls.
And one of our reporters was actually here on the Vancouver waterfront on Wednesday asking people walking around about Prop 5. And he said more than 20 people he talked to, about 90% of them hadn't even heard of it. So what kind of outreach and messaging have you been doing? And do you think you could be doing a better job at getting the message out about Prop 5?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to get your message out in the middle of all the other messages. Quite a few people we've spoken with actually have heard of Prop 5, and We've been doing outreach. There have been yard signs, a very intentional campaign on social media to educate the public on what Proposition 5 is about. There have been many community meetings where folks have asked us to come out and explain to them what this proposition actually is and how it would serve them. So the message is getting out. Short of skywriting it, I think we are doing a pretty good job of educating our public.
And you know, there's a lot of things right now that city leaders, not just in Vancouver, are asking taxpayers to pay more for. So we're hearing a lot from our viewers that they just do not want to pay any more in taxes. So they think that you could maybe pull this money from somewhere else. What's your response to them? Is there any way else to fund this besides asking the voters to pay for this?
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of different ways to run a city and run a police department. Vancouver has a very focused plan, and we have our priorities: equity, climate, and public safety. And our council has made it very clear that this is the direction we're going, and we heavily support that. Vancouver has done well. When you look at what happened during the last economic downturn, it was because of our community and our community leaders that we were able to fare pretty well coming out of COVID and the other challenges that we had. And so this is the course we're on, and I think it's a sustainable course. It's what our community has been asking for. And so we'll see what the community thinks of Prop 5 come next week.
Well, it's great to hear that the community has been asking for something like this. But I did want to ask you, you know, since 2020, there's really been a re-examining of police in America. So what's your response to people who we're hearing say, like, yes, I am very concerned about public safety, but maybe we shouldn't be spending money on more officers. Maybe that money should be spent somewhere else. What's your response to that?
Yeah, I think that people sometimes don't understand all that goes on into creating this whole ecosystem called public safety. And one of the components of that is having a well-sourced police department as the backbone, because the police department actually serves as sort of a safety net where there are other failures in the system. The police are expected to fill in. That, coupled with the fact that when you look at what staffing looks like across the country, we have a very low ratio of officers to citizens here. So there is room for conversation about putting money into other resources, but it starts with having a well-staffed police department first.
All right, Vancouver Police Chief Troy Price, thank you so much for joining us this morning and answering all those questions. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Wesley. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. And as we head to break, we want to hear from all of you. So please point your phone's camera at the QR code on your screen and vote on our question. Do you support Vancouver's Proposition 5 police services levy? Right now, we've got some responses. 31% of you say yes. 44% of you say no, I can't afford it. 19% of you say no, it's not needed. And 6% of you say maybe, but you need some more information. We still want some more results, so please keep responding to that poll, and we're going to keep checking in on it as our show goes on. We are wrapping up our time here in downtown Vancouver. We did a deep dive into the Main Street Promise construction project. This is a reconstruction of Main Street between 5th and 15th Street. We heard from some business owners who say the lack of access because of the construction is affecting their bottom line. We brought those concerns straight to city officials, and we also got the perspective from another business owner. We also took a look at Prop 5, Vancouver's Police Services Levy. That is on your ballots on Tuesday. I talked with the Vancouver Police Chief about the needs of his department. If you would like to see all of our conversations in full, you will be able to watch our full show on our K2 News YouTube page, and you can find a lot more on all our shows videos on that YouTube page. And for one last time, let's check in on the polls this morning. Is construction on Main Street in downtown Vancouver preventing you from visiting businesses there? 42% of you say yes, it makes access difficult. 21% of you say no, I don't mind it. And 37% of you say I didn't know about the construction. And for our other poll, do you support Vancouver's Proposition 5, the police services levy? Right now, 35% of you say yes. The majority of you, 40%, say no, I can't afford it. 20% of you say no, it's not needed. And just 5% of you say maybe, but you need more information. Thank you all so much for being involved in those polls. And thank you for joining us this morning. We go on the road every Friday, so please let us know where we should go next and what issues we should tackle. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your day and happy Halloween, everybody.